You spend hundreds on a high-tech jacket and still shiver. The problem isn't the shell, it's the cotton t-shirt underneath.
You spend hundreds on a high-tech jacket and still shiver. The problem isn't the shell, it's the cotton t-shirt underneath. Medieval people used a three-layer system that managed moisture, trapped air, and blocked wind. There's a simple truth you dan t here on product pages. The outer jacket only works if what's under it does its job. You can spend $300 on a high-tech shell and freeze because the cotton t-shirt you chose. That's why backcountry pros say bluntly, cotton kills. But there's more. Modern life has softened our body's thermal responses. We live in climate-controlled bubbles. Our cars, our offices, our heated homes. So our shiver reflexes, our peripheral vasoconstriction, and our cold acclimation have all blunted. Medieval people didn't have that luxury. They lived in drafty houses, moved outdoors daily, and their physiology adapted. They weren't tougher by luck. They were adapted by exposure. The other half of the story is systems thinking. Medieval people didn't wear single garments. They wore systems. The three-layer system is simple and brilliant. Layer 1, a linen shirt or chemise worn next to the skin. Linen pulls moisture away from the skin through capillary action, but it doesn't collapse its structure like cotton. It's washable, breathable, and it keeps the wool clean. Layer 2, wool insulation, the thermal engine. Multiple wool layers, quilted jackets, or gambesons created stable loft and millions of tiny air pockets. Layer 3, a dense outer shell, like a wool cloak, fur, or oiled leather, that sheds wind and precipitation and seals the entire system. That pairing of materials, hygroscopic linen, crimped wool, and weather-blocking outerwears, what made medieval clothing practical, not just symbolic. Archaeology confirms it. Recovered garments from ice-preserved sites show dense wool weaves, layered construction, and linen next to the skin. These weren't fashion statements. They were engineered survival gear. Wool is the standout material because it's multifunctional. It repels liquid water on the surface thanks to its natural lanolin, while its core fibers can absorb water vapor without collapsing. This means wool keeps insulating even when it's damp. It also resists flames and bacteria, and it's repairable and biodegradable. Synthetic claims about superior performance often ignore these systemic advantages and the environmental cost of petroleum-based textiles. Design choices mattered, too. Medieval garments used tailored overlaps and closures to prevent thermal bridges those leaks where heat escapes. Hoods were integrated with shoulder coverage, sleeves overlapped gloves, tunics overlapped leg wraps. Beds even had curtains that trapped body heat. It's simple engineering thinking. Seal the envelope and preserve the air trap. Also human behavior built into the system. Medieval people layered for activity, adding more wool when they were still, and having removable cloaks for when they were moving. They relied on warmed stones in beds, heated bedding, and shared sleeping to amplify body heat. These behavioral strategies meant less fuel and less overall energy consumption. So what should you do right now? First, throw out cotton for cold weather use. Save it for casual indoor wear. Second, get a linen next to skin layer, or a high-quality, moisture-moving base natural linen, or properly designed modern merino wool works great. Third, use wool as your insulating layers. Multiple thin wool layers perform better than one thick synthetic for active use. Fourth, have a dense outer shell that blocks wind and precipitation and overlaps the insulation. Fifth, mind the gaps. Seal your neck, wrists, and waist overlaps. Sixth, use heated bedding or create closed microclimates at night. Heated pads, heavy quilts, or even enclosed beds can make a huge difference. Finally, remember the materials science. Wool's crimp maintains loft when wet. Lanolin repels liquid. Linen wicks moisture away. Synthetic insulation might dry fast, but it often fails at vapor management and creates clammy microclimates. Use each material's physics to your advantage. This isn't nostalgia. It's applied physics and practical testing. The medieval system is not incompatible with modern life. The same principles are used by high-end mountaineers and heritage craftsmen. Manage moisture, trap air, stop wind, and consider your behavior. Do that, and that $300 jacket will finally do its job. If you want, in the next video, I'll run brand tests and list modern pieces that follow these traditional rules. Subscribe and I'll show you real products that respect the physics, not just fashion. Here's an uncomfortable truth, and it might change how you think about your expensive outdoor gear forever. Modern clothing didn't fail because we lack technology. It failed because we stopped designing for failure. Think about it. Most of the high-tech gear you see today is optimized for marketing conditions. We're talking short exposures in perfect weather, controlled lab tests, and ideal ventilation. It looks great on a billboard or a product page. But medieval clothing was designed for the complete opposite. It was built for long, brutal exposure, for damp, biting cold. A single difference in mindset explains everything. When your high-tech clothing system fails today, you get cold, you get uncomfortable, and you go home. When a medieval clothing system failed, people died. That intense pressure created a ruthless, efficient design logic. There were no decorative layers just for looks. No gaps in the clothing without a specific purpose. Every single material had a job to do. Modern apparel marketing loves to isolate features. You see it all the time. Waterproof ratings, breathability numbers, fancy fabric names. But here's the secret. Warmth is not a feature. Warmth is the outcome of a system. A jacket alone, no matter how expensive, cannot keep you warm. Real, lasting warmth only happens when three things work together perfectly. Moisture is managed, still air is trapped, and wind is blocked. This is why people freeze to death inside $1,000 jackets. They bought impressive performance numbers, but they didn't buy a system. And the biggest point of failure in most modern systems, it all starts with moisture. Your body produces water vapor constantly, even when you're just sitting still in the cold. This isn't sweat from overheating. It's a natural byproduct of your metabolism. It never stops. If that vapor gets trapped next to your skin, your base layer gets damp, and its insulation collapses. If that moisture condenses inside your puffy jacket, its ability to hold heat plummets. And if it freezes within the layers, it creates a thermal bridge, actively sucking heat away from your body. Medieval systems anticipated this. They were masters of moisture management. They used a linen layer next to the skin. Linen is fantastic at wicking moisture outward, away from the body. Finally, their outer layers, often made of tightly woven wool or leather, would block the wind while still allowing that internal vapor to escape. The system had a one-way flow, moisture out, heat in. You start to feel clammy, then you feel cold, and soon you're in a dangerous situation. They were patched, repaired, refelted to make them thicker, and relanolized to restore their water resistance. Fire safety was another non-negotiable. And they can melt right into your skin, causing horrific burns. For anyone who spends time near a campfire, a wood stove, or even a gas grill, this difference is not just theoretical, it's a serious safety concern. And let's talk about sustainability, not as some modern ideology, but as simple, practical logistics. That's a hidden cost that never appears on the price tag, but believe me, it is very real. Now, here's the final, beautiful irony in all of this. The core principles we recalling medieval are the exact same principles used by the world's most elite mountaineers and polar explorers today. These modern-day adventurers learned these lessons the hard way, through trial and error in the most extreme environments on Earth. Medieval people didn't have to learn it, they just lived it every day. Start building a system. Ditch the cotton base layers. They are a death trap when wet hand replace them with merino wool or even linen. Use wool for your insulation, preferably in multiple thin layers that you can add or remove, rather than one big, bulky jacket. Pay close attention to sealing the gaps. Make sure your layers overlap properly at the neck, wrists, and waist to prevent heat from escaping. When you choose an outer shell, look for one that genuinely blocks wind but doesn't feel like a plastic bag. Prioritize vapor permeability and learn to adapt your layers based on your activity level, not just the temperature on the thermometer. You need fewer layers when you're moving and more when you stop. Create a warm microclimate for yourself when you rest or sleep. It will finally start to work. because you stopped sabotaging it from the inside out with poor layering choices. This isn't about nostalgia or romanticizing the past. This is applied material science that has been tested by centuries of survival. It just works. In my next video, I'm going to break down specific modern brands and individual garments that actually follow these ancient rules. And I'll also call out some popular ones that don't. There will be no sponsorships and no marketing hype, just pure physics and practical advice. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching.